I'm a big fan and believer in the concept of not forcing things. Now, you're probably asking, in what sense? And honestly, I think it's all aspects of life. In particular, for why I wanted to sit down and chat, is for romance. I've heard from plenty of people that, oh, you should put yourself out there and date and talk with people. And I agree with that. I think if you find someone in public and you guys catch a gaze at each other, or you feel like there's some spark, and like walk up and do it. I've done it a handful of times in my life. There's some times in my life actually where I've regretted not doing it, and I think about it from time to time. But that may be a story for another time. Maybe bringing up in this video. Usually involves like when I go to the gym or I'm doing an errand and I see someone and don't want to rock the boat. And let's be completely transparent here. It's due to fear. It's due to me not wanting to take a risk. But when those instances not happen, you'll hear from friends and family that, go on dating apps and go out there and meet people. And I agree with that, but like trying to force a romantic connection that can last a lifetime through how people's morals and values and how dating is as a whole, as you've seen from hundreds and hundreds of videos, being like, well, women this, men that, da 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 da. It's a shit show, and frankly, I just find it purely exhausting. And I've always believed that things happen for a reason, and you can make an argument that that phrase is silly because sometimes things truly horrible happen to someone and there's no reason to explain it. But I think in my own personal life, for the good and bad, everything has led me up to this particular moment of sitting down and sharing my thoughts and feelings on this subject. I don't know what's in store for me when it comes to dating. I feel like it's been a lot more down than uphill. I feel like I had my chances when I was younger, and now that I'm older, it's just harder to spend time with someone. And I've found interest in many women, and I don't receive it back, or it's hit or miss, and that's completely fine. I used to think like, oh, I gotta do all the work here and stuff, but honestly, I'd rather have that than be on the receiving end of something that's out of my control. Rejection is painful, but it's part of life. I think it's a thing that you have to accept. If you want to take something away from this video, is don't let the fear of rejection stop you from doing what you want to do. With a caveat, right? I feel like every time you give advice, you always have to give some caveat of like, well, at least it's like when it's something not illegal or harassing someone, but like, I feel like common sense here. Like, let's get real, people. I don't know. Some days I truly feel like it's not going to happen anytime soon, which I've come to terms with. And I don't want to go out every weekend to like a bar or a club just searching for like love and something, because at the end of the day, I don't even know if I'm ready for that. It would have to take someone like great and amazing to connect with to where I would even consider that. It's not something I'm like, wow, the first girl I match with on a online dating app or meet in person, I'm thinking about dating them long term. I want to know like their likes, desires, passions, just getting to know them as a person, and then kind of making that decision there based off vibe. But you get this pressure from the older generations of like, anytime they check on me, one of the first questions is always, "You dating someone yet? You seen anyone?" Da da da. Which, I guess during their time it was quite normal, but nowadays it's just very like fucked up of how dating is nowadays. Like, I've had plenty of videos discussing this, but it comes to a point where like I think like everyone's lost the plot of what they need to find, and it's become like a game. like, oh, I need more power over this guy, and you got to make sure that you do these things to contain his interest, but also, don't show your cards up right. And then the advice out there for like men on popular platforms is completely garbage, to where messages like this just don't really get traction, or if they do, it's just like a smaller scope, and the ones that are horrible, gain notoriety and exposure, and news outlets, political pundits, whatever, just make interviews off them and give them more exposure on, just maybe for good reasons of being like, hey, don't be like this guy over here, aka like Andrew Tate or the Wizard Liz for women, when I'm thinking of like both sexes, of like how those two are just complete hacks and don't really have the best interest for their intended audience. I hope for my messages, regardless of age or sex, it rings true to whoever's watching it. And, maybe there's other late 20-something year olds out there that just find being single right now is a interesting time. I don't hate it. Honestly, I think if someone ever were to ask me, what's my fatal flaw? I love my me time a little too much. And I think if I ever were to have a partner, whenever that is, I would be a little too selfish with it, and maybe, sacrificing other things so I can get more me time in. And that would be my toxic trait, right? I don't know why I did air quotes. I feel like that would be toxic, right? If you're in a partnership with someone, but that's neither here or there. I haven't had a relationship in a couple years now, and either it's by choice or it. I feel like I've got any girl I've been interested in is like not either due to location, things happening in life, or they just plain don't, like me or see me like that, has led to what's going on today. I feel like I would love to meet someone through the gym, but I literally just saw like a joke video today, like a skit of like when you actually talk to your crush, and it was very like dramatized and stuff, but I felt like some of it had some truth, where it's like, you may just be bothering them, and if you're like, oh, you got another set working in, they're like, well, that's your opener. That's horrible. Like, you don't want to make it obvious. And I think just going through like a conversation of getting to know someone without any end goal is the best way to go about it. But now for me, it's just working on courage and having the balls to do these things and going after what I want. I feel like for the gym, I've built confidence in like having discipline and dedication to something, to where even on my bad days, I will find a way to push through whatever I'm feeling and hold myself accountable. But now I need to do more of the mental, where it comes to being vulnerable and trying to connect with someone. I think this all just comes down to wanting to connect with people more, and connection just seems like a lost esoteric art, where most people see it as a game and don't really care to get to know someone a little bit more on a deeper level, because everyone's afraid of getting hurt. And who's to say I'm not either, but I at least want to figure out the state of things, and I'm willing to put myself out there if the off chance of getting hurt, because then I have stories to tell. And if ever is like an interest in it, maybe one day I'll probably share a story about just like dating stuff that's happened or crazy things, because at least I really truly feel for younger men, because it just exponentially gets harder. What 20-year-olds probably have to deal today, to where 5 years later the next set of 20-year-olds come in, is going to be vastly different than what people are dealing with now. And I even feel when I was 20, there was like stuff starting to turn. I felt like I was still getting like some Tinder dates, some Bumble. I think a bee just landed on me. Hey, little guy. Hope you don't do anything to me. But yeah, you just never know. You never know with how things are. I try to stay positive, but time will tell, right? I think what we need to do as a call to action is to be more open and transparent with each other and focus on connecting more than trying to protect ourselves and doing stuff that's superficial, like for followers or, you know, attention, validation. Oh my God, I think just validation alone is a whole nother rabbit hole we can go down between men and women, and how that's just kind of ruined connection altogether. So many people love clout, and how clout has just become this hungry demon that is just horrible to deal with. And it is quite a strong and pervasive force in our society, in my opinion. And all this comes together that I just don't want to be asked that question anymore. Oh, you're dating someone or not? Like, I won't be like, hey, fuck off, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to be rude about it, but I'll be like, nah, not really. And if they want to ask why, you know, maybe I'll go into the details of it, but just be like, hey, it's hard. But if you want to hear the details of why I think it's like that, more than happy to talk about it. But I don't know. I used to think in like 2020, 2021, it was bad, but it would get better after the pandemic. People wanted connection stuff, but I think it's just gotten harder and harder. And you either have to race to the cream of the crop and, you know, make yourself stand out and have all these values of wanting to be wanted. There's a whole other question that could be tough, right? Is, am I a person that is desirable by maybe the woman of my dreams, or one that I'd be interested in and have a loving relationship? That's debatable too. I feel like we're taking steps to get there, and I'm glad to have the privilege of growing older and having these problems in my life instead of just like these third world horrible like wars and other issues that kind of make my problem seem a little insignificant. But do want a partner someday. Maybe kids, maybe marriage, I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about kids. Still need to have a girlfriend and kind of live our life and having a partner, and then maybe building something from there, but it just seems so remote for me at this current time. Hope my stance changes with this in a couple years and as I get older, and all it takes is one great connection, right? So I'm still hopeful at the end of the day. Don't want this all to be doom and gloom, but yeah, time will tell. And if you're out there feeling similar like this, you're not alone, and I think we'll be okay in the end. But current thoughts right now, it's kind of how I'm viewing dating and how people, how I want to respond to people when they're like, hey, any girlfriend? Anyone dating in your life? Yeah, that's a no right now. Check back with me in like a year or so, I don't know. Ask me something else that's going on in my life. Not everything is about having a partner and a family relationship. There's more to life than that, but I'm not, you know, looking down on people that do want that, because I think that's quite a beautiful thing. But I'm just kind of tired of that question. Anywho, thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. It means more than you know if you made it to this point of the video. And hope you have a great rest of your day. It's almost May. Reminds me of that Justin Timberlake song of like, it's gonna be May. But also, he's kind of DUI man right now. So maybe that's not too appropriate. Anywho, that's enough rambling for me. Catch you in the next video.